Welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix playthrough. We're heading back to the rest of the worlds before we head to Hollow Bastion for round 2 of Hollow Bastion by listing off the rest of the Trinities in the journal and collecting as many Dalmatians as we can. And this was the first take I had to do to get back to Monstro, so the one time the whale showed up when I wanted him to, and he does. So thank you, Mr. Whale.
Oh yeah, so that brings me a question. Have you actually had it before where you warped to him and he wasn't there?
Yes.
That's so annoying. That was a bad mechanic to put into the game.
Monstro is a very bad mechanic, especially when you're trying to do one of the Atlantica Gummy missions.
Just gets in the way.
And I think the same is true for when you try to go to Halloween Town first and he'll show up.
Yeah, I'd say like if you prowl the internet, you'll notice that if you're a trophy hunter, you'll notice that people probably say the hardest things are the gummy ship missions, and one reason for that Monstro reason. Mm-hmm. If he's there, he can just totally mess up what you've been doing.
Yeah, because it's not that there's any gummy missions for Monstro.
No.
The issue is that he'll interrupt the one you're doing for another world, mainly Atlantica.
Yeah, and for some reason it doesn't even count it even. But let me say this, in my person, I didn't have a trouble with it because I did spawn Monstro in Halloween Town. And again, I kind of like blew through it when I did it, so I may be a little fuzzy, but from what I remember, if you spawn him at Halloween Town, I don't think I'm not sure how many times you actually have to go through him to actually complete the missions. If I felt like that to complete the missions, you only had to go through him at least maybe once. You could take alternate routes. But from what I noticed about the Atlantica is that you pretty much have to go the route that passes through him to complete the missions.
That's true. Well, for some gummy missions, there are certain routes that you need to take in order to reach the score you need to meet in order to finish it.
Yeah, like some will say from this world do this.
Yeah.
But like he was saying, it's kind of like to me, I would say it's kind of like a puzzle. You have to find the route that'll actually give you what you want. Mm-hmm. As we were saying with the score, some routes don't have as many enemies or obstacles.
Some will blatantly point out you need to. It's a requirement to start from this world, wind up in this one. Others just have a score requirement, and you kind of have to figure out which route is the best one to take.
Yeah.
And then you get to worlds like the very last one, which only has one route, so they just made it hard as shit.
The last one was. I wouldn't say it was the hardest, but it was my last one, so it definitely felt like the most.
Definitely one of the few FAQ missions I had to.
That makes sense. That was just.
Because I couldn't be bothered to do it on my own. I just wanted to get it done. It's not that they were boring, exactly. I didn't want to put in that much effort into something as minute as the gummy missions.
Oh, there's trophies there now. Mm-hmm. It's worth it for the trophies, of course.
Yep.
Any type of... So I don't like Monstro.
I don't either. When we got back to the chambers, there was one chamber, on the wall there, that you can't really reach unless you glide like that. And you wind up in chamber 1 again. I was in chamber 1, and the door said, "This will take you to chamber 1." I was like, what?
I know, I saw that.
Why? What is even the point of programming that?
Just for the lulz.
For the lulz. Lot of Heartless. I had to... There are going to be a few crossfades in this video. There are just so many.
Pluses, the pluses are very kind of tight-knit areas.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst or best part of the series, you could argue... Okay, that was an exaggeration. It's neither the worst nor the best. But an aspect of the series is the fact that enemies will respawn if you leave, 2 rooms away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
When you think about it, if you're really trying to, search a world to finish its stuff, that is not a long distance for enemies to respawn.
It's not.
And that's what makes this world even terrible, because you never know where you're going.
Mm-hmm. And they're all intertwined, so I don't even know if it's programmed like that.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. What does dignify 2 spaces away from where you just were?
Exactly. It's just a giant pain in the butt. And again, I use this term proudly, they fixed this issue in 2, where you could just get the treasure chest and leave. It doesn't matter if you were fighting a boss. You could get the treasure.
Yep. And you're invincible and everything while doing it. And again, that's something that you could easily jump on and say, oh, well, that made it less realistic or more easy. I guess so, but this is much more of a hassle than it was an actual...
It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
This is what he does. He flips his keyblade just to look cool, I guess. Or try to act cool. and then he hits the treasure chest open. In this game, he like knocks on the door.
I know. It's like just
Is anybody home?
And it opens. Ah, that was something funny.
Do you have some treasure for me? I hated. This took to finish Monstro. This took like an hour. Look at the part time. It took a freaking hour to get through all this.
Because it's frustrating. I still don't know the direct route to get to like the final treasure area of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I don't even know I didn't even know there was like an area up here.
And as you saw, these aren't like, gummies or material items that I'm not going to need for the playthrough. No, these are important things like the dogs and the trinities, which also can't be activated if you're in battle.
Unfortunately. Yeah, it's all very... Yeah, this is not a... I don't think anyone likes this world, honestly.
Screw you.
Oh, torn page.
Yep. I was very proud of that because I got it before the battle started. Because there is a split second, like, the battle can initiate, and it doesn't, like, interrupt if you're, like, in mid-treasure opening. Because I just would have shut off the game right then and there.
It just didn't let you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because, yeah, he's right. There's that thing where it's, enemies will spawn, and then so it takes, like, a second to get into his zone, I guess. To whip out his blade and your thing to turn red.
And this is also meant to be somewhat of a guide, so you know what treasure has what prize in it, so you can, depending on what kind of player you are, if you're just going for 100%, if you need a free elixir or something, I think it was a mega elixir or something I got earlier, and you just want an easy way to do that. If you don't really care about the Dalmatians, if you do, you know what's what, and just be prepared to fight a crap ton of enemies. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very...
They're all the powered up versions too, which is very annoying.
Extra experience, though.
Extra experience, so unless you're fine with that and you want the extra experience, do this after you get Glide from Neverland, because the Heartless will still be powered down.
Yeah. Yeah, plus it... Yeah, they'll be powered... I mean, they'll give you less grinding, but you might as well just do it.
Mm.
Especially this world. Because everything is just so tightly packed.
It is. Like, that's something I'm thankful for as far as, going from, say, one area to another. Enemies can't, like, knock you out of an area. Like, say, in most of the Monster Hunter games, their, creatures can knock you basically out of an area. I think most of the time, I think they fixed it to the point where, like, it's a ledge you can jump off of, but you can get knocked down. Otherwise, if it's like door-to-door, even though it's not technically door-to-door, areas where you go, where you hit the map boundary and it takes you to the next area, stuff like that. If it's something like that, I don't think they can knock you out. But basically for this game, if you're locked onto an enemy, you can't just walk out of an area. But if you lock off, you can. It's like they set some restrictions where you can't just leave an area, which I thought was convenient because at least for this world, at least there are lots of places where enemies can just kind of trip you up, and it's not really a bad thing. It's just very frustrating.
Yeah, that is true considering like in Hollow Bastion how easy it is to fall down. I don't really run into that many issues of like accidentally getting pushed out of areas in battle.
Look at this shit. I hate this.
It's so weird. It's like, what's even the point of it standing there? Who put it up there?
I don't know. It's just kind of conveniently traveled down like that.
Is it? Yeah, it's in 2 when like the treasures just stay there, right? After they've been opened.
Oh, like,
like
that's a good question.
It's an open chest.
More than likely the larger ones at the very least. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
About all of them. Well, yeah, chests in this game are just large. That's kind of an interesting thing.
It's either 2 Birth by Sleep or both that actually has a list of treasure chests.
I think it's all of them.
Okay.
Ever since this, which I was happy about because I wish this game had a treasure chest like completion list in the journal.
Mm-hmm.
Not because like, well, because like just because this is, I personally find this game probably the hardest to collect all of them.
Mm.
So if there's an actual visual indicator of you doing it, that'd be cool. But no. But still, though, you can, if you want, you could use a guide and sort of check mark them yourself.
I'd say it's an up and a down. Like, there are players like us who just want 100%, and we want to know we got 100%.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, we do with some treasure chests. Like back in the first, or what was it? The part 2 of Neverland, I think, where there was a treasure chest that used to have a gummy in it, but they changed that. And even then, they changed it to where if you find a gummy in a treasure chest and you're already maxed out on how many of that gummy you can carry, it'll still add it. You don't, like, have it added to your inventory, but the treasure chest disappears. Like, you got this, and you don't really get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
In the previous version, they didn't let you do that. It just closed again.
That was such...
And it always annoyed me.
Yeah, I agree. It was very
Cock block.
Yeah, because you're right. It literally opened, said you cannot hold any more of this gummy, and it would shut.
Yep.
Just was very... Yeah, right. For completionists, terrible.
And there's... And you could argue, well, you could sell it. Well, that's not always the case. There's some gummies that you can't even sell.
Yeah.
So there are just treasure chests left there that you can't open, and it's just annoying.
Well, true players know the order when to do it. Will be my argument. I don't know when to do it. I haven't played the original in like 4 years, but
yeah, same here.
Still, that's so sad. I need to go back and play maybe one day. Oh, nice.
Holy crap! Look at the size of that bastard. Yep. Now, the way to kill this thing is to bring him back to life.
Oh yeah,
Fight over.
We were talking about that once. Very nice way to look at it. I just thought that was a weird gimmick for a boss.
A very strange gimmick. And I use Mega Elixir, so I'm pretty sure that's like the most powerful attack in quotation marks you can use against that thing. But any other item works, even Ether, I think.
Yeah, although I'm pretty sure if you use more powerful... I may be wrong, but I think depending on the power level you kill him with, that will determine what likely he is to drop. Like if he's... I may be wrong, but considering you got 2 drops, that it might be true.
I think I just got lucky. That, or I did just use... I used a couple of Mega Elixirs, and the game's like, oh, wow. Oh, that works.
You decided to group the 2 worst worlds together.
Yes, I did.
These are like, even the color. Like, these worlds are so similar. Just how much they're despised. And everything. The color scheme. The confusingness.
It would have been nice if Monstro took us here. Like, that would have been interesting.
Like,
more intertwining worlds, like in kind of Hollow Bastion.
Oh, yeah, like if he...
Where it's like an original world, but it's got the Sleeping Beauty villain and the Beauty and the Beast hero.
Oh, yeah, like it... That would have been cool if, like, Monstro, like, instead of sneezing you, he spits you out and you ended up here.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, seeing Captain Hook's ship or something.
Something like that, yeah. Dude, I just got this amazing image of, like, the 3rd game or something. Captain Hook comes back with, like, a fleet of ships, right?
Oh, yeah?
And Sora comes in riding on Monstro, and he just starts eating the entire fleet. How amazing would that be?
That would be the greatest thing
ever. Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I hope that happens. Because, I don't know. I feel like they built up Monstro in this game. At least personally for me.
Yeah, a little bit.
They build him up to be some interesting creature that can actually live in, like, the abyss.
Yeah, that's true. We brought that up earlier. Like, going from one world to another, is it like space? Is it the ocean? I mean, okay, I thought about it, and whales are mammals, right?
Mm-hmm.
They technically breathe air, from what I understand.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess that was their logic with it? Like, he didn't need water?
Or air.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's probably not even air in that weird space. Yeah.
I like how this one kind of has like a different... Oh, for Goofy at least.
Yeah.
It's kind of got...
It's attention to detail.
And our classic favorite material.
Yeah, we're not going to say it this time, are we?
Censored.
That'd
be funny. Or... Hey, it's like Nintendo.
What do you mean?
Just the way that they can censor. I heard that the Mega Man Star Force game, the very first one, it was so terrible in its censoring that if you said hello, it would censor it for the hell part.
Oh yeah, like when you have your custom names and you can
Yeah.
share it online and stuff.
Yeah, and I hate it when games do that.
Yeah, what was it? It was what was like Bunnelby or something from Pokemon X and Y. Once again, favorite group. Not gonna name him this time, but he tries to name his Bunnelby Thumper, and he can't do it because the word pump is in it.
Really?
Yeah. It's just it's so stupid.
Yeah, it.
Like there's contextual and just super anal censoring.
Whoa.
Yeah, check this shit out.
All goofy. And then you open up. That's so cool.
You didn't know about this?
I never knew that. No.
It's a free mithril, very very handy material.
Such an interesting way for that to open.
Yep, and that urchin doesn't appear until I think you revisit or something.
Or like, it might even be like after you defeat a second version of Ursula.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Huh, it's interesting. It's so cool. A lot of I kind of like.
I really went out of my way to make sure I showed as much of the game's secrets and features as I could in this playthrough because there's a lot of easily missable stuff.
Yep, and all. I wouldn't say it can't be at all cool. I say that there's some bad balancing on like what never mind the parts.